Football has just taken away the goalkeeper's biggest weapon, and in doing it, without realizing, it has handed the big clubs 60 seconds of pure tension, gift-wrapped. Picture this, you're leading, it's the final 20 minutes, the opposition are pressing, and your goalkeeper goes down like he always does. That used to be a timeout, a breather, a word with the manager, a break in rhythm. Not anymore. Now, the second your keeper hits the turf, your manager has exactly 10 seconds. 10 seconds to name an outfield player, and that player has to stay off the pitch for a full minute after play restarts. And if he can't decide in time, your captain goes off. Yes, your captain. So when your goalkeeper goes down to waste time, it isn't him who pays for it. It's the most important player in your team. And for 1 minute, you play with 10 men. Now read that sentence again, because in modern football, playing with 10 men for a minute is a death sentence. Why? Because a defensive block is a mathematical system. 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 forwards. Each one covers a specific zone, and each one plugs the gap left by the man beside him. Pull a single link out of that chain, and someone has to shift across to fill it. And the moment he shifts, he opens up his own zone. A domino effect begins. The opposition no longer has to break you down. They just have to move the ball to the right side. And now we get to the genuinely frightening part. You can see this 60 seconds coming. The moment the keeper goes down, the clock starts, the referee stops play, and can you guess exactly what the opposition manager is doing on that touchline during the stoppage? He's calling his players over and saying one sentence, "Which zone just opened? We're loading it." Managers like Guardiola, like Arteta, already carry a prepared routine for every scenario. What you do against a team a man short is well documented, and it's in the textbook. Stretch the pitch, fill both flanks, pull the defense horizontally, and drive vertical passes into midfield. Because when you're down to 10, you either close the width or you close the center. You cannot do both. And 60 seconds, for a team this well prepared, means 3 or 4 attacks. A corner, a transition, one line-breaking pass. More than enough to finish a match. So who is the real victim of this rule? Well, not goalkeepers themselves, actually. The victim is one branch of the goalkeeping craft, psychological warfare. Think of names like Emiliano Martinez. His game isn't just about saves. It's built on breaking rhythm, getting under the opponent's skin, managing the clock, manufacturing a pause at the critical moment. This rule destroys the biggest weapon in that arsenal, because now every stoppage doesn't hand him an advantage, it hands his team a punishment. It sits one of his teammates on the touchline for a full minute. It's the most elegant way imaginable to psychologically paralyze a goalkeeper. From now on, no keeper is going to lie down on that grass easily unless he's genuinely hurt. But I have to be honest here, because this rule isn't as brutal as you might think. There are exceptions, and they matter. If the keeper is down from a foul, if he's collided with an outfield player, if he's bleeding, or if there's a suspected concussion, the punishment doesn't apply. So genuine injuries are protected. But that's exactly where a gray area is born. And in football, a gray area means cunning. Now, every goalkeeper on the planet is going to learn one lesson. If you're going down, make sure there's contact. A shoulder, an elbow, a collision. The rule doesn't end the deception. It just forces a smarter version of it. And that's the story that repeats itself with every rule change football has ever made. You close one door, and players find a new one. This rule isn't arriving alone either. Alongside it, there's a 5-second countdown for throw-ins and goal kicks, a 10-second limit for substituted players leaving the pitch, and that famous 8-second rule brought in last season is already in force. Football has declared open war on dead time, and the first test won't come in some blockbuster fixture, but down in the lower reaches of English football, in a League Cup tie. What we see that day is going to shape how the rest of this season plays out. And let me tell you where I stand. This rule will reduce time wasting, yes. But in exchange, it's giving football something that has never existed before. A moment of chaos you can plan for. And history shows us that the best managers always find a way to turn chaos to their advantage. So what do you think? Will this rule clean up football? Or does it just hand the big clubs a brand new 60-second weapon to crush the smaller ones? Write it in the comments, because we'll be watching that first real test together. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. The next one is going to be even better.